Think back to 2016. No Man's Sky drops. Highly awaited for game. It has 18 quintillion planets, procedurally generated, infinite is what they say, and yet after a few hours every planet felt the same. uh, okay, different colors but the same bonds, same geometry, or let's say geographical distinction. And I mean, they say it's infinite, but it was kind of empty as well. That was the promise and the problem of procedural generation. It could create worlds at scale, but it couldn't make them feel handcrafted. It couldn't make them feel alive. Well, okay then. Here's the question. What if procedural generation, as we know, has actually dead, and something far more powerful has quite taken its place? To lean more into the topic, procedural generation isn't actually new. We're talking 1980s. A game called Rogue used algorithms to generate dungeons on the fly. That's where the term roguelike even comes from, really. I can mention maybe a bit more recent games. Wouldn't say it's a lot recent, but Persona 3 has procedurally generated dungeons. Persona 4 has procedurally generated dungeons. Even Persona 5 has somewhat procedurally generated. You could call them dungeons as well, even though the main story doesn't have procedurally generated dungeons. But this isn't something new. But in fact, it could change with the latest advances in technology. For decades, the idea was simple. Give the computer some rules, some randomness, and you let it build the world for you. Minecraft does it, by the way. It actually does it really brilliantly. No Man's Sky took it to an extreme, though. That's the problem. But it was reliable. I mean, the advantages were real. You could build massive worlds without handcrafting every rock and every tree. It saved time, it was clever, but again, it has limitations. The limitations were if the computer does not understand design, it doesn't have a sense of design, it just abides by your rules. It doesn't know the dungeon should build tension, or that it should be narrow in specific places, or maybe a bit more open in specific places, or that a forest should feel ancient and foreboding. It just follows the rules, and the player, of course, they can't feel difference after all. This is where things could get interesting. This is where the shift will happen. Or you could say it's already happening. I will have to mention a specific topic or a specific tool that has a lot of stigma these days. People hate it, people dislike it, and dislike the sloppy nature of it. It's AI. This is where AI could actually help a lot in good ways, of course. Modern AI, such as machine learning, large language models, generative models, as everyone knows at this point, they don't just follow rules, they learn from them. This is where we get to old procedural generation compared to AI generation, where in old procedural generation, you set parameters, you tweak the noise function, something related to mathematics, adjust distribution algorithms. Uh, it is technical and it's very tedious, but the output is a little bit algorithmic. Maybe you can actually even guess what will happen next, even though yes, there is noise, yes, it's random per se, but you will know that you will not feel actual tension maybe in some locations that should require tension. On the other hand, AI generation could greatly, immensely help. A developer can now type, create a dark world, foreboding forest with ancient ruins and signs of a lost civilization, and they will get exactly that. Now, this is where some of the viewers might say, okay, we don't want AI generated worlds, they don't feel alive, they don't feel real, which is true. This is where I think, in my opinion, we should use it at least for, let's say, as a blueprint or as a planning process or a planning pre-process, where you maybe could get inspiration from it, you could get some key points from it, and then you change and add to it. I think this then is wonderful, because if you ask me, I wouldn't want to play an AI generated world or an AI generated game. It is also unalive. To get back to the topic of AI generated worlds, the key word here is context awareness. An AI texture system doesn't just generate stone, it generates stone appropriate for a medieval castle wall with weathering moss and historically accurate construction marks. It understands what it's making and why. And they scale across everything: NPC dialogue, uh, quest design, music that adapts to your emotional state, level layouts. They account for narrative pacing, not just spatial logic. Get a little bit off topic actually. I remember some drama that happened, I would say, when the Game Awards happened, when the Game Awards show happened, and Expedition 33 won basically every award. There was some revelation uh, that they use actually AI images or AI textures for some pillars or some walls just as placeholders. This also, I think, is a good implementation of AI to at least have a feel of the world and then maybe tweak and change it. I was actually quite shocked when people got mad and they were really angry about this, but it was removed very hastily actually, and they did admit because that it was AI because it was a placeholder and it wasn't even anything major. It was just a random pillar or random wall somewhere. So I think it is very useful. Let's get concrete. There is GTA 6. Rockstar has heavily suggested that NPC behavior in Vice City will use real-time environmental awareness. NPCs that notice what you're doing react differently depending on context, remember things. Of course, that's not scripted behavior, that's AI generation happening live in the moment every time you play. Another taboo topic I could mention is that there is parts that are underappreciated. For example, a solo developer can use AI tools inside Unity or Unreal Engine to generate assets, environment, NPC behaviors that would have required a team of specialists just 5 years ago. According to recent industry data, over 50% of game development studios are now actively using AI in their production pipeline, and this is just what we know. The number was basically zero a decade ago. I think using AI to at least generate some assets, and as I've mentioned previously, they could help you in, let's say, getting inspiration of what the final product should look like. I think this greatly improves efficiency. Now, and this is the analytical part, I don't think we should just celebrate this uncritically. There's a real tension here. If AI can generate a world that feels handcrafted and we're actually getting handcrafted design, or are we getting a very convincing imitation of it? Almost half of developers in recent surveys say they worry about AI producing soulless output, and this is, of course, in my opinion and many others, is a very genuine concern. It's technically impressive what it can generate, but missing the intentionality that makes great games great. This is something that could happen. The difference between a good level and a masterpiece isn't just the aesthetics, it's the designers making 1,000 subtle decisions that guide you, surprise you, and respect your intelligence as a player. And I guess the question that I may propose is, can AI learn that? Can it learn how to create these subtle details that make a great game? Maybe, eventually. But right now, the honest answer is not reliably. The best use of AI generation today isn't to replace designers, it's to free designers from the tedious work so they can focus on the craft itself. The studios getting it right are the ones using AI as a co-creator, not a replacement. So, is procedural generation dead? Not exactly, not at all. There is still a lot of games that use it, but it's been fundamentally transformed by the AAA studios, you could say. The randomness-driven, rule-based system of the past are being absorbed into something smarter, more aware, and more capable of producing experiences that actually feel designed. The question going forward isn't whether AI will change how games are built, it already has. The question is whether the industry uses that power to make games more soulful or just bigger with more stuff to do that maybe just feel like you're tediously doing the exact same side quest with just a different flavor. I think that's worth watching closely, what the advancement will lead us to. I want to know, do you think AI generated worlds can ever match hand designed ones? And I would say that's it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.